Таны төлөө эх орон чинь юу хийж чадах вэ гэж асуухаас өмнө та өөрөө эх орныхон төлөө юу хийж чадах вэ гэж асуу. Young Federal Family. Хүн төлөвчтэй сайн байцгаана уу? De facto нэвтрүүлгийнхаа зочноор Дэлхийн банкны уулуурхайн ахлах мэргэжилтийн Graeme Hancock-ыг урьж ирүүлээд байна. Монголын уулуурхайн асуудлаар та бидний сэтгэл санааг үргэлж зовоож үйдэг хэд хэдэн асуудлаар энэ хүнтэй уулзаж ярилцахаар тохиролцсон юм ба. Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you for coming to our studio.
It's a pleasure.
Graeme Hancock, Шинэ Зеландд магистр, Австралийн Queensland-ийн их сургуулийн уулуурхайн эдийн засагчаар докторийн зэрэг тус хамгаалсан. Канада, Шинэ Зеланд, Шинэ Гвиней зэрэг орнуудад геологийн хайгуул, олборлолт, ашигт малтамлын дүн шинжилгээ, мөн эдийн засаг санхүүгийн салбаруудад ажиллаж байсан ариун туршлагатай. Доктор Hancock нь Шинэ Гвинейд 16 жил төрөл бүрийн салбаруудад ажиллаж байсан. Үүнд Шинэ Гвинейн технологийн их сургуульд уулуурхай хайгуулын эдийн засгаар багш. Шинэ Гвинейн засгийн газрын хайгуулын газрын дарга, мөн Дэлхийн банкнаас уулуурхайн салбарт хийгдсэн техникийн дэмжлэгийн төслийн зохицуулагч зэрэг багтана. 2005-аас 2006 онуудад Индонез, Фижи, Афганистан, Монгол зэрэг орнуудад мэргэжилтэн зөвлөхөөр ажиллаж байсан. 2006 оноос Дэлхийн банкны уулуурхайн мэргэжилтнээр ажиллаж байна. Энэ нь тухайн орны засгийн газар, уулуурхайн салбарын яам, тамгын газарт эдийн засаг болон улс төрийн ашиг сонирхол санхүү зэргээр зөвлөгч мэргэжилтэн хийдэг. Одоо Монгол улсын нийслэл Улаанбаатар хотод Дэлхийн банкны уулуурхайн зүүн өмнөд Азийн бүсийн мэргэжилтнээр ажиллаж байна.
I would like to ask you a question about why you became a geologist and who had the most strong impact on that.
When I first started university, I actually intended to be a marine biologist. But during the first year of university, I just found it so exciting in the field of earth sciences that I changed my career path and focused on geology, eventually completing a master's degree. And I guess my professors at university were most instrumental in influencing the way I looked at the world.
How long you have been studying geology in New Zealand?
Well, I did a bachelor's degree followed by a master's degree, so that in total was about 6 years.
Tell us about New Zealand. I was told it's very similar to Mongolia, a small country.
Well, Mongolia and New Zealand have some similarities, but many differences. Okay. I think New Zealand's a very wet country, so it's very green all year round. It does have mountains, and it does have some areas which are slightly like a desert, but not like here. It's completely surrounded by water, which is the opposite to Mongolia. You're surrounded by other countries.
There are so many sheep.
Oh yeah, there are many sheep. I think there are about 30 million sheep.
13 million.
And 4 million people.
Wow. So per capita, the amount of sheep is almost higher than in Mongolia.
And then on top of that, we have about 10 million cattle.
And altogether, how big the revenue from agriculture, how big the role of agriculture in the economy?
Agriculture is the most important component of the New Zealand economy. We are a major exporter of dairy products and meat and wool from New Zealand. And you can buy New Zealand lamb here in Mongolia, and New Zealand butter, of course.
Should be very expensive all the way to come from New Zealand.
Indeed, I'm sure it is.
Have you tried?
Yes, I use New Zealand butter here all the time.
Oh, is it? Okay. How do you find Mongolian food, meat?
I like it. I think it's great, given that all of it is basically organically grown. So to me, it's very healthy. A healthy option, and probably one element which Mongolia could use in the future as a competitive advantage to be marketing, organic products from Mongolia.
Well, yet we cannot even export to Russia and China. In particular, these days we have this mouth and foot disease.
That is always going to be an issue, and until your animal health issues are dealt with, and you can guarantee the food security of what you're sending overseas, then you will have trouble. So I think that focusing on eradication of some of these diseases is going to be very important for Mongolia's agricultural future.
Indeed. You have been working in Papua New Guinea.
Yes.
What brought you there?
Well, I worked in Papua New Guinea for 16 years. I first went there as a university professor. I was teaching applied geology and mineral economics in the Faculty of Mining Engineering there. And after doing that for a few years, then the government asked me to take the role of Director of Mines, which is really the head of the mines department. And in those days in Papua New Guinea, they used to have expatriate civil service positions for areas where they did not have local expertise. They would hire someone from overseas. So I actually worked inside the civil service as a manager and supporting the minister and managing the mining sector in Papua New Guinea.
What was the mine or mineral you were busy with?
Papua New Guinea's biggest mineral export is copper, followed by gold and then oil. And in some respects I think it's going to have a lot of similarities to Mongolia, although Papua New Guinea has no coal to speak of, that does not export coal. But in terms of its copper and gold exports, it's actually at the moment substantially larger than Mongolia.
Or is it? And how many people are there now?
The population of Papua New Guinea is approximately 6 million people.
Well, then you have, you made a doctor in mineral economics. And yet in Mongolia we have still a lot to do with the economies of the minerals. We talk about the minings, licenses, deposits, but not yet this proceeds, the revenue part of it. And what do you think are the bottlenecks in this country, since you have been working in Mongolia for quite some years, right?
Yeah, I've been working in Mongolia now for about 4.5 years. And yes, I do have a doctorate in mineral economics. And I think that, Mongolia is still a very young country in the respect of developing the regulatory and legal framework for a market economy. And so, there are still issues and challenges which are there to be faced. And I think that we will continue to see both the legal framework and the regulations mature and grow through time. And this is a natural process. So I don't see what is happening here in Mongolia as being unstable or difficult. This is just part of the natural process of arriving at a regulatory framework which balances the needs of the investor and the people of Mongolia. So whilst there are challenges at this point in time, I think we are still moving forward to address those with government. And certainly at the moment there is a review of the minerals law underway to fine-tune it and to add new elements into the law which are currently missing. But I see these as very positive things in the growth of the Mongolian environment.
Still we talk about mineral curse.
The resource curse, yes.
Resource curse. Do you think we are really in that?
Well, there are different components of what you would call a resource curse. And at this point in time, I'd have to say that no, Mongolia is not in the middle of a resource curse. I think that there are challenges going forward, particularly with the development of the